It's just sometimes they were absolutely dominant, and just sometimes they felt flat on their face. But they'll start off with a Capitao ban, one of the extremely rare ones. And I understand why. Oregon, especially those laundry and even top floor bunk attacks, very effective with the Capitao. This leaves Team Empire to ban the Lion, to some extent must ban, I guess. I don't know. A lot of teams have been going through that in Europe, that's for sure. First defender will be Mira. There you go. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then ENCE, they have the choice at the end here. Do they want to remove a Pulse? Do they want to remove a Smoke? Or a Maestro and an Echo? That's usually what happens. And that'll be the Echo out of play. So no Yokais. Makes a lot of sense. Still, the Maestro very strong. Smokes are going to be very good. However, the Capitao is not here. And how many times have we talked about how strong it is to position those smokes perfectly with the Capitao?
Yeah, Capitao, absolutely a very powerful attacking operator on Oregon. Allows you to just forgo clearing the ADSs and get the utility you need down where you need it. The precision combined with the fact that the Capitao bolts will bypass the Jaeger ADS, which is the only real anti-throwable operator in the game.
Yep.
It's just such a powerhouse, and both teams will lose out not having him. But of course, ENCE, the one who banned Capitao, they are the team who has practiced more without him going into this map. Important to note that Team Empire did beat End Gaming 6-0 on this map. So this is definitely going to be a pretty strong one for the Russians.
Now, for people that have not watched that match, again, even though it was a flat shutout from Team Empire, I always recommend going back and rewatching those matches because you get to see how it was done. Yeah. And the way that Empire did it was very interesting. Their takes into tower were extremely efficient. There was nothing that could stop them. And it seems like they were always
10 seconds to go.
Following one another. We talk about this a lot with certain Latin American playstyles where there's always drones in front of the players that are coming in that are designated entry fraggers. And Empire just take it to a whole different level. Their communication levels are absolutely insane. And I hope that we get to see that because in their entirety, the entirety of this season in Challenger League, and even at the R6 Euro Cup finals in Italy, they were doing the same thing. And Joystick, we mentioned it before, we mentioned it again, that highlight fragging player.
Yeah, so if there's one player to take a look at on Team Empire, it's Joystick. And he will get the very first frag of this series. And that's a pretty good start for Empire in this round. He's the sort of player that people point a finger at him and say, if you can shut down Joystick, then you're going to cripple Empire. And, you know, it's not that simple. It really isn't. But he's such a powerful player, and he really just puts that thought in your head. If we can deal with him, we'll be fine.
And that's the effect of one scary player can have. The thing is, as you mentioned, it obviously is much more complicated than just that. There's a lot of teamwork that revolves around enabling a player like him to show off his skills. And we saw that at LAN, we see it online, and you know he's going to start it off here. There's very good timing. Tower clears are very impressive by Empire.
Yeah, and I have to say there's a level of confidence, I think, in Joystick's play that allows him to be as lethal as he is. I mean, we saw Gomfi playing in Tower. He was playing pretty default. He wasn't being, Joystick was not being droned in. He did not know the exact location of Gomfi. He just committed to the peak and landed his shot. And it's that simple. Sometimes players can struggle with that. You can see Karzaka trying to land the grenade onto Boonsey, and damage will be done, but not enough to cripple. We will have lost the Habana as well, so Uno's position in tower seemingly very powerful at this moment in time. That's a poor flank hold for the attack. Allowing Uno to retake tower is a mistake, but Joystick will correct that mistake.
You see how it takes the angle slowly to not allow Uno to get a full body shot on him, and there you go. That's the commitment and the confidence in the fight, even for a highlight frag player such as Uno. And Joystick will get yet another one. That's the 3 kills in this first round. Scyther will get one more as he opens up the site, and it's all onto Shate, of course, the world champion in the back, watching the armory corridor, and the fuser will go down from the IQ. Shepard, good peek from Shate, but Joystick again. Round 1, 4 kills. Joystick is just, my God.
Absolutely on fire. You know, you gotta imagine he would have gotten the ace if Scyther hadn't managed to get one in the site. That's really how that round felt, because every single time there was a problem that ENCE were presenting Team Empire with, Joystick was there and he solved that problem. Oh, what? Somebody roaming a tier 3 on tower?
Hey, Joystick.
It's a Joystick. Uno retakes tower after the flank hold from Team Empire fails. It's a Joystick, you know, and then finally 2 entries pushing back into the site. Joystick. So it's just, you know, there's not much to say about that round other than we always talk about how Ashe is one of those operators that only certain players are allowed to play in this meta, because only certain players can frag out with Ashe and really put her to the best use. Joystick is one of those players.
He really is one of those few players, but ENCE has that potential as well in Uno and Gomfi.
Yeah.
So maybe when we switch around to the attacking side, we'll see a bit of that. But it seems like ENCE struggled quite a bit there. Even though they were taking their engagement in a correct fashion, it seems like every inch that you give Joystick, even in terms of line of sight and an engagement, he will take it and be able to find extra hits on you where you can't do anything.
Now, of course, it's not all Joystick on
There's a lot of teamwork around it to enable him to play like that.
Exactly. But at the same time, that last round, I mean, there's not much else to talk about other than Joystick. So in this round, we'll see what ENCE has up their sleeves to try and win the top floor as they go here the 2nd time in a row. They're really sticking to their guns here. Can be a big risk at times to repeat the same site after losing it. On Oregon, though, there aren't a lot of options. You're going to have to go top floor. You need to successfully defend top floor. Otherwise, you're really risking your position. Joystick going to clear out 1.5 ADSs there at T3 of the tower. And will also start applying a lot of pressure through the windows. Could actually land a shot here on one of his opponents, but will miss out on the opportunity. Gomfi takes down one player. That's Shock. The 2nd time, the first death on Team Empire, and the worst possible operator too, the only hard destructor.
Yeah, Joystick though will open up the bottom floor here, as this time it seems like ENCE have gotten it together, but the run out, no! Uno will get shot down in the mute. Unable to use his utility, will get shot down. And Gomfi is still alive in the tower. Oh my god, no, they're gonna do it again. So here's something that Empire do quite consistently, is that once they know that there's still one ADS, or at least half an ADS in, they'll pop one breaching round into the top and then follow it up immediately, like half a second later, with a frag grenade that bounces into the tower and kills the Jaeger. Here, we didn't get to see that, but if we continue with it, I really hope we do, because I've seen them do it like 3 times, and it was absolutely amazing level of communication.
Unfortunately, Joystick seems to have used both of his breaching charges, and he will die to Gomfi. That right there is a clear read from ENCE. They understood what was going on, and they've seen that strategy you were just explaining before. They know how to counter it. Karzeka's going to take down Gomfi, though. Finally is the word that I think best describes that, as it took a whole 2 minutes to clear out the Jaeger. Gomfi's job was done successfully, and quite so at that. Even the loss of Uno for free really isn't a high price to pay for such success on that roam.
Scyther looking all the way down. Close to finding the angle. Unfortunately, there's a few metal bars in the way. Just going to top in a couple of lifelines inside of the site just to make sure. Of course, remind you, these are Gmok mines, so they can insta-impact and show you if there's anybody in the back.
It's important to note that the ADSs, all 3 being placed in tower, means that there's free reign for all projectiles from the attacking team in the actual site. Gas canisters, though, will be coming out to delay the push on the north windows, and Wilkie takes down Scyther, who attempted to vault in through the west. Boonsey onto Karzeka, and it's all up to Shepard, who will lose out to Wilkie. ENCE take their first round.
There you go, back and forth in the second round. It seems like in the entirety of this round, there was so much pressure put on ENCE. Every single time there's something happening, there's something changing around from Team Empire. They seem to always have a player or two that are trying to pressure their opponents to force an aggressive response, and that's what happened early on with Uno. That dive, it happened a few times in the past, and it rarely has been successful with ENCE. if I'm playing Empire, I want to change things around, or playing against them. I want to change things around in my strategy, but I also don't want to go too much in quote-unquote balls to the wall exercise.
Yeah, I mean, we saw there, I think, quite clearly that ENCE were directly countering the tower clear they've seen from Team Empire, the one that you described. And that makes sense, considering, again, there was a match that Team Empire played on Oregon not too long ago against Endgaming, and there's a lot to be said about the study that can be put in on matches that are in such close proximity to this one.
I think Joystick put nothing less than 14 frags on the board. Actually, not only that, he went 14-0.
Jeez.
14-0.
No death. You know, that gives you so much confidence too. I can, when you're playing, and no matter what the situation is, when you're playing, and if let's say you go 8-0 or 7-0, even if you don't get too many kills, when you don't die in Siege, like it just instills in you this absolute confidence that you can win anything.
Just because in Siege, when you die, it's over for you that round. You have to sit back and relax.
And you wait.
Yeah, whereas if you don't wait, you're always actively moving, actively doing something.
Yeah.
You keep that pressure going, you keep that blood pumping, and that's something that, you know, rare other anything can replicate, but especially in competitive play where all the time your heart is pumping. You always want to win. You always want to make sure you're getting higher and higher up in those standings. And what better matchup than this to really show who can keep it pumping for the longest possible, really.
Yeah. So here we go. Droning out tower. Once more, Empire choose to take tower as their primary clear. Clearly not very focused on the west side, as we see some teams often be. Uno inside a meeting hall is going to be one of the initial fights for these roam clears. Joystick, though, has the drop already open and will cut off the rotation. I'm not sure what the thought process was there for ENCE. The drop was open from the defense's side, and Joystick just took the opportunity presented to him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You cannot give him opportunities like that. It just cannot happen. You see Empire just trying to clear things out. There's the hatches that are still soft in the meeting hall, so all these can be opened, though the Habana will be the one to open things up. Flash will get thrown in. The mute, he's but no! What? Joystick, the reversal! Shate, what are you doing? Oh, no!
What a mistake from the world champion himself. Gomfi will refrag onto Garzeka, but he gets downed by Joystick, and a pistol kill for Joystick! Holy, what is going on? It's all up to Boonsy now, the single anchor, and he has got to feel so very alone right now. He's only got 3 toxic babes to comfort him, but it's not going to be much of a consolation in this situation. Being sprayed at from construction, the shotgun blast on the Shepherd. He's evened it out somewhat into 1-on-2, but Joystick once more shutting down Boonsy, and Team Empire take the round.
That's a Joystick ace. That was a Joystick ace.
Wow.
That was a Joystick. I cannot believe it. Not only did he play it perfectly, but he was enabled by his opponents.
Yeah, there were a lot of mistakes there made by ENCE. If we look back, I mean, it all started with Uno being caught in a rotation because the attic drop down is open. Joystick did not open that drop down. The defenders did. ENCE did. They opened the attic drop and then didn't play attic.
Can we ask our beautiful observer Marcio to flash that scoreboard for just a second? Maybe. He's got 9 kills in 3 rounds.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was 1 death. So very impressive for the individual Joystick.
There you go.
To 4K on the first round, a 5K on this round. While he didn't get any kills in the second round, that's still very... you can't take it away from him how impressive that is. But yes, lots of mistakes being made by ENCE. The initial rotation from Uno being caught out like that, to be expected. Gomfi giving away his presence inside of Kitchen and then not rotating off of the angle. He played in Kitchen, but he was still actively on the angle while reloading. He could have gone somewhere to stay out of Joystick's line of sight. And then the misses from Shate. He positioned himself on the drop down specifically to kill someone playing the angle that Joystick was playing, and Chate missed. Inside of Meeting Hall, the entrance, losing a pistol fight to Joystick up close. You cannot be doing that. I mean, yeah, it was an ace from Joystick, but also it was a lot of mistakes being made by ENCE to allow that. As you said, enabled by ENCE.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I'm pretty sure that both Protax and Sua, the manager and analyst / coach for ENCE, are watching this with their blood pumping as well. And Protax has said this a few times in the past, especially during qualifiers for big events, and obviously Pro League qualifiers being one of them. Sometimes for the coach, it's even more of a nerve-wracking thing than it is for the players. And Karjeka will land the first one in Uno yet again. Aggressive plays not paying out. Why? You're doing them solo. You can't do that against Empire.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to be honest, as soon as I saw the Bandit breaking that window, I was thinking to myself, oh, Joystick's going to get another frag. But it was Karjeka this time. It doesn't matter who's there to do it. If you present these opportunities, Empire will capitalize. Scyther onto Chate, who is peeking Construction Hall. What are you doing, Chate? Truly puzzling choices being made by the defense. Gomfi inside a Meeting Hall, trying to hold on as long as possible. He's just trying to do his job. He's just trying to delay, but he's really caught out of position there. Good droning work from Team Empire, allowing for Joystick to entry frag onto the Jaeger, leaving just the 2 anchors after the 3 roamers are felled. ENCE and Wilkie, and a 2 versus 5.
I don't understand this. The Capitao was banned specifically by ENCE, and then they just roam around with all their utility. Everything is just gone, and Joystick will take yet another one out of their misery. Wilkie's all on his own. He's Guzmotat as well from Scyther on the Zosha, and the rush right into the closet. No, Wilkie will find the kill, and he sprays her second. Scyther will go down, but Shock is ready. And Wilkie will go down, coming in from the back. It seems like Empire, the instant they have a hold and a way to enter into the site, they always have the flank held in for the second side of the attack. And that's what I don't understand. Again, I will repeat it. ENCE, you banned Capitao. This means that your anchor play is even stronger. Why, oh why do you choose to put 3 players in meeting and then every single time be left with nothing on the site?
Yeah, 3 roamers there was truly a curious decision, but the main thing for me is how all over the place they were. They were disjointed. You know, it was we had Gomfi in Meeting Hall, we had Uno on the west side of the building, and we had so many people. I mean, Chate he wasn't really roaming, I guess. He was peeking Construction Hall. But my point here is that these 3 aggressors on the defense were nowhere near each other.
Yes.
Nowhere near. They were in their own little worlds, trying to fight their own little fights, and you cannot be doing that. Let me explain why. Team Empire, they are right now fragging out, and Joystick especially, sure. But at no point are they doing it as themselves, as individuals. Okay, let me give you an example. Joystick was playing just to your right of your screen right now, next to that window into the hallway where you see the Evil Eye placed. He was on the other side of that window. Uno breaks the window next to him. I'm thinking to myself, Joystick's gonna get another frag. I mean, I said it when it happened, but he didn't. Karjeka was there to support him. No matter what, Team Empire have support in play. And the one round where ENCE managed to get a win, Empire lost, was due to a lack of support, and that was due to, yes, ENCE's aggression paying off. But it was honestly a little bit of luck allowing for that to happen, and you cannot be relying on luck. You need to have a more, I think, airtight strategy that involves teamwork.
Yep, and that's definitely something that Empire have, and they're showing off. And yeah, for your average viewer that's watching right now is just seeing Joystick on top of the board. That's not the whole story. That's, again, there's there's 4 other people, the support staff, the enablers that make him do what he does just by relieving pressure so he can focus on one specific task, which is murder the ever-living lights out of the opposing team.
Yeah, Joystick is, to an extent, the one of the European-esques. You
Yeah,
know,
basically.
it's definitely one of those players that he stands out and he frags, but it's because his team allows it. Speaking of frags, Karzeka and Joystick, one for each. Joystick narrowly avoiding this angle with Wilkie. This could go either way, to be honest, but Joystick's going to drone it out to be thorough. This is smart, not committing himself to any unnecessary angle. Gomfi with a nice frag onto Karzeka. Uno takes down Shock. There's still one repelling on the north windows, and Uno could get that kill, but it seems that Joystick has come off that and understanding. What is this? The diffuser's being planted just inside west window. Scyther takes down Wilkie, and now it's a retake for the two roamers. Joystick will not go. What? Joystick turns on Uno. Absolute destruction. Gomfi will get one from the junk tower, and he's got a very lit Ash to deal with as well as Shepard. But the run out is going to be extremely difficult to pull off, and he will fail in the attempt. I was just in the seconds about to say Joystick dies to Uno, but it didn't happen. What a turn and what a round for Team Empire. ENCE had it in the bag, but they weren't holding west window.
They had the Maestro, they had two dead players. You have the information. Why aren't you looking in? Why don't you have info on the player that just went in? No smokes, no nothing. Went for a default plant by a big window. It's just, it is puzzling, and oh my.
You know,
that 180.
And that's the thing. Wow, okay. First of all, ENCE wasn't watching big window. They were not watching the main push. But the thing is, it wasn't the main push. Team Empire's main push was north windows, and they locked that up. ENCE were on top of the north windows.
But then they left the site.
But Empire, this is the most the thing to me to highlight here is how impressively quick Empire rotated to a west window take. They were immediately moving over, and we didn't even catch it. That's the thing. It was so fast that we didn't get to see it on our screens because the action was still going on in north windows when Empire made that rotation. That is thinking on your toes to a level that we don't often see.
Honestly, like, I was questioning all of this 2 days ago, looking back at the VODs, and I'm like, would Empire actually be able to do this at a pro league level competition? And honestly, the more I see it, the more I'm afraid for any team that comes across Empire in pro league if they do qualify.
Bold prediction, they're going to qualify. Now, I don't know if they're going to beat ENCE or if they're going to beat Vitality. But I'm jumping on.
Anything can stop them right now.
I'm jumping on the Team Empire bandwagon because they have looked extremely strong through Challenger League, and they are already looking very strong here against ENCE.
If you're watching right now, invest in Team Empire stocks because those are definitely going up once they hit it hard. But hey, we said that about E-Gang, and that didn't happen. So maybe.
And they are right now, I think, one of the strongest Eastern European teams,
100%.
period. I mean, for a long time, it was ENCE who was one of the most Eastern, if we're just looking at geographically. But, you know, Team Emperor, I think, really bringing a lot of pride to their region. It's important to know.
I remind you that Team Empire are the Russian champions, even with the new season that is live and has been for the past few weeks. And Joystick yet again. This is he does this kitchen peek so many times, and he gets the first one from the dining hall, and that's Zofia. That's Gomfi again removed. Not only is it a star frag player on the squad, but also a ton of utility.
Yeah.
Zofia brings so much to the table. Losing her like that just for free is definitely not a great start for your team. And ENCE are just completely frozen. They don't know what to do.
Uno is expecting the refrag to walk into his crosshairs. Shate has doubled up on this, in fact. They really want Joystick dead, but he's not going to go quietly. Karzeka is also there to support Joystick. Often the one player positioned so closely to Joystick and usually gets those proximity frags really on top of things in that way. The phone call from Dokkaebi, though, will disrupt Team Empire's roam. Joystick calling out and spraying onto the Maverick inside of the hallway. Shate, who has eaten a lot of damage, not only from bullets, but also from Legion traps. If anything, these roamers are successful in wasting time, but Uno will finally get the frag onto Joystick, which is absolutely huge. Though, we are at the 40-second mark, and there's not much time left for these attackers to work with. Karzeka also somehow still alive. He managed to make it back to the top floor. Una will take down Scyther. That's one more of the anchors gone, so an excellent frag for Uno. Shate has been down by Karzeka. Shepard also will get a kill onto Boonsy. So a 3 versus 2. Wilkie and Uno both being slowed down, but it's a flurry of kills for Team Empire, and they will take the round in the span of a couple seconds there.
Even there at the end, you can see the disparity between Empire and ENCE. ENCE on the attack, not knowing how to react. Empire reacting before the play is even done.
I mean, there's so much to look at there from Team Empire. ENCE.
I wish we could just slow it down and look at every round for the next half hour.
Can we pause for a second? ENCE, they cleared out the bottom floor. Their entire focus was bottom floor. But how much time did it take them? It took them so much. It took them almost the entire round.
And the Bandit still escaped.
Yeah, and the Bandit escaped. The clasp on the bottom floor was not absolute from ENCE. On top of that, in the dying seconds of the round, Team Empire retook downstairs, and it ended up being the final nail in the coffin, allowing Team Empire to take that round. And I don't know how else to put that. As soon as ENCE seems like they have ground, whether on defense or attack, Team Empire somehow manages to find purchase on the same ground and beat out ENCE.
One thing I want to highlight, not only in terms of nationality, but also in the way that things play out. Now, Karzeka is the only Estonian player on the team. He's the Estonian Pro League, well, potentially Pro League player, actually. But if you see the way that they're running it, Empire, every time we saw Joystick, who was near him?
It's Karzeka. It's always Karzeka.
Every single time. And who's near him? The IGL is near him. He's doing the calls, and he protects his most valuable player. That is just absolute command at a different level.
Yeah, and it also allows Karzeka as an IGL to frag out more than you would expect him to. Because the IGL role is typically one of those roles that really puts you in the back. You know, like Wilkie, for example, is the IGL for ENCE, and he's always kind of struggled to get as many frags as his teammates because he plays a very hands-on type of role where he is really, truly leading his team. But because Karzeka sits in the circumference, just the surrounding area, the proximity of Joystick, he's enabled to get kills because Joystick is drawing all of the attention. We saw it in the last round, where Joystick was roaming downstairs. ENCE really wanted him dead. They were starting to, clamp down on him inside of Kitchen, and Karzeka is there, not being monitored. He did some damage. He got away scot-free. He didn't get any kills there, but it's a good example.
Well, Karzeka is still in the back here by the kids' dorms. Of course, not having the Capitao really doesn't help you in this position. And the fact that ENCE did not use that ban to their advantage in the first half, it really is puzzling. Karzeka sprinting in, more damage done to Uno, but Shate takes quite a bit, and Joystick will finish him off. Karzeka with one more on to Uno, the second control, the Scorpion Evo. Joystick one more as Boonsy's all on his own, and yet again, so far away. And he ran, and there's not much to say. Boonsy all on his own in the classroom. 4 players left alive from Team Empire. And he has to hope for something, because this site is not going to be taken anytime soon. Shepard takes him out, and that is Map1, 6-1. And yeah, sometimes we say, you look at the scoreline and it doesn't really tell the whole story. Well, this is one of the times where indeed it tells the whole story.
Yeah, that was absolute dominance from Empire. I think if not for one round, it would have been.
I just want to see the scoreboard.
Yeah, let's see what we can see here.
16-3 in 7 rounds.
Very impressive.
A professional play against ENCE.
So here's one takeaway. All right, and if you're an ENCE fan, first of all, that's probably a lot of you guys considering the community poll.
Oh yeah.
But just instill you with a little bit of confidence here.